Some playmaking potential in the early stages. Provides stun. It might not be the best laner, but I love it. Next play, they're giving us some grit to their lineup. This is them really not going the safer route, I would say. They are going to be gambling for game number 3 as they want to win the series. For the side of Work Auster Force, very solid pickup for their team. It's another one of their, I would say, easier drafts to pull off. I love the Lunox as it really gives them so much playmaking potential in the early stages. And the fact that they were able to secure both Baksha and Alice, their comfort heroes, this will allow them to just be comfortable.
It's going to be a scrappy fight, and it is Unravel rocking the tank Baksha as Imartizi with the high and dry is going to go into the XP lane against James's Lapu Lapu with that show. And Work Auster Force, if this goes into the late game, they'll have room available for RTZ's Lunox to be able to deal damage with the Chaos Assault. And then they'll also have the Alice. But then the question is, will Work Ender Stain be enough to actually deal with the damage and the firepower that's going to come out on the side of NXP, who, by the way, Renegade is rocking the Weapons Master as his emblem.
Now, this is a Renegade special. I think only Renegade so far have used this, but it is okay when it comes to like being how to say this, having some extra damage in the early stages, at least some playmaking. Although 1-1 is not a hero that you will depend on in the early game, but at least when NXP decides to fight around turtles, or maybe the second or the third turtle, this Renegade will pack up a punch.
Yeah.
Now, he did go for the flicker though. It's not something that I usually see from 1-1 since they go for the Aegis. Let's see.
And now Yaoi sees his maker as he gets taken out by an aggressive rotation into the jungle of NXP coming in from Work. They need to build that as much as they can. Fortunate that was Unravel got the kill, but I mean, he has a mask anyway. So Imartizi just kicks away Lapu Lapu. Now, it's going to be interesting to see what Renegade builds first here. He might opt to go for the Demon Hunter Sword first, right away. Or maybe if he wants to play really, really super ultra safe, build the Corrosion Size so that he gets a little bit more breathing room to kite the members of Work who might want to dive him. But then would you even consider picking up the Corrosion Size, seeing as how he already has Flicker?
I think so. I think he might still go for it. It really isn't that, I mean, for NXP, having the Corrosion Sight early on, it kind of allows them to whittle down the Baksha, which is what they needed in the early stages. Apart from the 1-1, they don't really have the best solution to this Baksha from Unravel, so that may be their decision. I want to say Work Auster Force, they mended. Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
What a play there, Chu.
What a play.
Right under tower, taking out the Angela and using the Shadow Clones to get away. Yaoi could be up next here, and Work is ramping up really, really quickly. This is not what NXP want.
Yeah.
Although, pretty sure that they know that this is something that could have happened because of the nature of the lineup of Work. Of course, they're going to play aggressively, and they want to get those kills early.
Exactly. And again, I would say for NXP, they kind of lose the games after just imagine they're very prone to reverse sweeps. That's what I want to say about NXP. They are also very prone to 2-0s. That's what I noticed from NXP. If they are so emotional as a team, I'm not talking about them crying or whatsoever. It's more about them riding their emotions, whether it be from momentum of winning or momentum of losing.
The fire? There's a word I'm trying to find here for NXP. I can't seem to find it, but now what they need to find is a way to make sure that this game doesn't get way too far from them, because that is a 3 minutes and 10 seconds clock of destiny for Kosei's Alice.
Yeah, that's a problem because you should be winning your lane matchups now, but Work mended their lane problems by putting like 3 members in the early stages around the 2-minute mark into the bottom lane to contest Renegade.
Yeah, and Renegade gets taken out by a beautiful entry there by Work. Synchronized fight, going in with a flowing blood. A bit of a stun, if I'm not mistaken, coming in from the Backfield Shield unity of Unravel. They take out one marksman. They look to disrupt another, invading the purple buff. Yawi, Unravel, and Kosei will be able to box out just enough. And Kosei going in with a flowing flood and the blood off. The stun, the damage, but H2O with Angelo on his back. Let's see if he'll be able to secure a kill here, but no, they're too tanky. But the members of NXP come in, especially James, who gets the stun and the damage onto the Alice, and the sustain keeps him alive, but Chu is still at full health. He could get another kill onto Expert, but he decides to back off a little bit. Renjay, though, secures a kill there onto Unravel, but Renjay falls at the hands of Martizi.
Oh man, admirable battle mistaken, I would say, from NXP. They already survived the ambush from Work Auster Force, and they tried to stretch their luck. In fact, they were able to get 2 important kills, but you know that they are gonna lose that battle no matter what because of the fact that Work Auster Force, their early game lineup, it's working, and it is online right now. Even better was the trade for Work Auster Force.
Yeah.
That meant that the Turtle will be theirs, and they will extend their lead in the early stages. Surely they were able to get a kill onto Kosei. But in the grander scheme of things, they're giving away free gold for Chu, which also means that the firepower of Work, it's just gonna be stronger and stronger in the mid game.
Yeah, and Martizi though might just get a taste of firepower coming in from NXP as Exort and Yawi try to pick him up. They'll be able to do enough damage, but not to bring him down, only to whittle him down just a bit. Yawi takes a lot of damage though, and Arteezy feels the wrath of that Blazing Duet. Gets taken out there. NXP with a great response, could have been really messy, but no, Chu comes in with a Shadow kill, and Shadow clones out. He'll be able to get a consolation prize. Art of Thievery onto the Shrub. H2O gets a bit of stacks, but he knows better than to try to one-on-one that Hayabusa, who has farmed up much better. James tries to fight out Kosei, but Kosei will be able to get away. 5-0 and 3 here already for Chu. And one of the problems that I'm seeing here for NXP is that, yes, they'll have the Angela, and they have a little bit of sustain to keep the front line alive, but Yawi has already taken so many deaths, meaning that he doesn't have that much sustain items to keep himself going compared to the front line of Work.
Yeah.
He's had a much better early game.
No matter what happens, NXP will have the better late game since they do have 2 marksmen. But in the early stages and the mid stages of the game, they can't even cut it close. Well, they did have a chance in the early stages. If they didn't just stumble like this, we could argue that NXP might have a bridge to get into the late game, but now Work Auster Force, their full firepower.
Yeah, and they threw that full firepower. I mean, NXP tried to commit their full firepower onto Unravel, but the heal keeps him alive. So Unravel still stands. NXP doesn't even have enough damage right now to take out one tank. At this point, they need to wait, or they trying to buy time to make it to that early game. But what you mentioned, the bridge, might not be there, or it's just about to crumble for NXP.
While it is true that the Angela and the Cloud works, they were forced to use the 1-1 in the side lanes. It means that so much greed is there for NXP. And we can easily say that they can reach the late game for sure, but it's harder to do. We have seen NXP do it before though.
Yeah.
But with the tremendous lead that Work Auster Force have right now, if they play this properly, if they abuse the lead that they have, it's going to be an easy closeout for them. Maybe wait for the next Lord where the wave clear isn't that much yet from NXP. Take out the jungle of NXP while they're at it. It just means that their lead will just pop off. It will just inflate to a point where NXP cannot catch up anymore.
Yeah, war of attrition. NXP cannot get out of their own base. They can't even get into their own jungle with how well covered Work has it. By the way, they have 2 Blade of Despairs on their side. James might get caught out here. He's deciding to fight out a little bit, but here comes the flicker and the power of Order Brilliance from Arteezy, enough to deplete NXP and force them back so Work can take that tower. We saw something similar like that happen yesterday with the Flicker Brilliance forward. But now Work, yeah, this is a comfortable lead for them. Not a lot of worries on their end.
Yeah.
The only thing that will lead to their downfall are their own mistakes.
That's right, absolutely right. You can see that jump from Arteezy. Wasn't able to get a kill onto anyone, but that was a very smart play. Like they were able to take the turret in the middle so easily. looking at Kosei as well as Tree Martizi, all they need to do is clear out the side lanes. Chu will take care of the jungle, both their side of the jungle and NXP side, which again will result to their lead just inflating at this point. Man, NXP are down 10k, 9 minutes in. It's just 1,000 gold of lead every single minute for Work Auster Force.
Yeah, and now Work will have no problem with this Lord, as the members of NXP are too preoccupied with making sure that Claude and Wanwan can get a little bit more far from the jungle. By the way, 9 minutes and 30 seconds in the game, that's how long it took Renegade to pick up his DHS, the Demon Hunter Sword. And then, yeah, it's just the nature of the lineup that we're seeing. We set it up earlier, you set it up earlier. It's the early game versus the late game. And now that we're reaching the mid to the late game, Work is still in full control. Look at Unravel. Without a care in the world, yeah, he's forced to pop off that heal, but he just bruisered his way into getting closer to NXP, and still, they're lacking damage and they're lacking items.
That is cause and effect, I'd say. Them lacking the items they needed meant that even Unravel is unkillable. Hell, I think if they are 3 Martizi, they are all 3 Martizi Uranus right now.
Yeah, and 3 Martizi, look at the damage! 2 or 3 hits from the Joe was enough! More than enough to take down that 1-1, completely obliterating Renegade. And with this Lord marching into the damage coming out from Work, they might be able to end it here. Into O's Blazing Duet is not enough, and that's a godlike for Juice Hayabusa. He's 7-0-3, and Kosei caps it off with a double kill. James, last man standing, goes down. NXP get wiped out, and that is a series win. The first one for Work Auster Force in the MPL. Their debut in Season 7, or their debut season in the MPL. And look at them just bully Renegade into making him think that, you know what, I'm sure that, you know, you could potentially try and defend this, but no, you will not be able to. And what a game